Hi everyone! Today we're making
3-day rolls.
Yep.
So this recipe is one that my mom makes for holidays and special occasions, and we're gonna give it a go making it ourselves today. I don't think we've ever made it without her before, but I think we can do it, don't you?
I think we can.
All right, so we're gonna start with a big mixing bowl. We have 5 teaspoons of active yeast in there and 3 1/4 cups of warm water. We went ahead and did that so that our yeast could get good and warm and happy. We're gonna add in 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. This is a big batch, so it's perfect for like big family holidays. You can freeze some of the dough if you would like. Otherwise, just make it all so you're ready for plenty of turkey sandwiches with our Thanksgiving leftovers. So the beauty of this recipe is you can start making the dough up to 3 days in advance when you put it in the refrigerator. And then all you have to do is form them and bake them later.
Don't you have to make it 3 days in advance?
Nope, you can make it a couple hours in advance if you want, but this way you get to spread out the dirty dishes and the work a little bit. So not that it's super hard. My mom actually learned this when she was helping with funeral dinners at a small country church that they used to belong to. And you know those ladies know how to cook, so the little old ladies at that country parish taught her how to do this, and they've been a favorite ever since. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add a cup of butter. You can do it super soft. We've melted it just to make it easier to incorporate today. And then we've got 2 beaten eggs. That's unsalted butter, by the way. We're going to add a little bit of salt, but we want to control the salt here so that we're not over-salting our yeast.
Okay, so, and then what?
2 beaten eggs. And these make the softest rolls. We're going to make them dinner roll size today. We've also made them larger and used them as like buns for pulled pork and that kind of stuff before, and they're good that way as well. Okay, and we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and add 2 cups of all-purpose flour and kind of get that mixed in.
Should make a big puff today. Because there's a lot of liquids.
Mm-hmm.
This is all the more flour you add?
Nope, we're going to add about 7 cups in the end, but you start with just a little bit and keep adding it until you get a good dough.
I was like, I don't think this is going to be enough flour.
Nope, it'll be easier to mix in if you go a little bit at a time though.
Mm-hmm. It really is a super simple recipe.
Yeah. All right, probably go ahead and add a couple more cups.
How many?
2 more.
Okay. So now,
see what it starts to look like.
Now we'll be at 4.
Mm-hmm.
They should make a 2-cup measuring thing.
I'm sure they have them, but just one more thing you have to store, and it would be a pretty big thing to take up a lot of room.
It'd be handy when you're doing stuff like this, though.
Yeah, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
We're making this and an apple butter cheesecake are the 2 things we're bringing to Thanksgiving this year. Pumpkin pie happens to be one of the recipes that does really well. It's one of my more popular recipes, my pumpkin pie with sweetened condensed milk. So that's always a fun one this time of year, but we've made it so many times recently that we decided to do something different for Thanksgiving. So one of my aunts is making pumpkin pie, and we're making apple butter cheesecake and these rolls, and who knows, you never know. I'm tempted to make some cranberry relish or something as well. We'll just see how it goes. So let us know in the comments below what you made for Thanksgiving or what you're famous for at Thanksgiving. We always enjoy seeing what people like to make. As always, you can check out cookingwithcarly.com for plenty of Thanksgiving and Christmas ideas and everyday ideas. So it looks like we're ready for some more flour. So go ahead and put 2 more in and see where we're at.
That will put us at 6.
Yep, so then we'll be getting close. So this will be a pretty soft dough. You don't want it to be too, I don't know, too thick. Since you're not kneading it to develop the gluten, it's gonna feel a little bit soft, but you do want it to come together into an actual ball of dough.
Yeah.
Now you can use your electric mixer to do this if you don't want to use your muscles. But again, we're not kneading this dough, so you just want to bring it together into a ball. It doesn't need to be, you don't want to run it super long with your dough hook or anything. All right, I would say we could probably use a little bit more flour still. Don't you think? We're still pretty loose. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And then it is obviously going to tighten up as that butter gets a little bit harder in the fridge and as the flour hydrates. So we're not going to go too much more, but just a smidge. We're going to add more flour to it when we're forming them as well. So this doesn't need to be super tight. Okay, so once we get this all mixed in, we're gonna put it in a greased container. You can do it in a mixing bowl if you want. I think it's kind of our tradition to do it in a gallon container like
Did
this.
you grease this?
Yep. So I put a tablespoon or 2 of just vegetable oil in there and used a paper towel to grease the bottom and the sides and even the lid just in case it gets up there to it. Okay.
We have a tradition of using.
That's what Mimi does. We gotta do what Mimi does.
Okay.
All right.
We'll have to check and see if she actually does that.
You don't believe me? You're gonna scrape it in?
Should I?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think I made it
We'll
up.
have to check tonight.
All right, we'll ask her.
You didn't even mix in that flour there. There. Kind of help mix it in. I need help.
All right, so again, we're gonna put this in the refrigerator for at least an hour, up to 3 days.
We're doing 3 days.
We're doing 3 days. Give everything a chance to really get to know each other
Why it's
in
called
there.
3-day rolls?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they want you
So
to.
you might as well just do the 3 days. So you can let them
Yeah.
live up to their name.
Well, if you're in a rush, you can do 1 hour.
Yeah, if you need rolls now, you can still use, or today, you can still use the recipe, but
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to be able to spread it out.
But you let them go for 3 days, so you have to do the hard part like now, and then when you're rushing later by closer to Thanksgiving and stuff, you can just put them in the oven and do some stuff to them, put them in the oven, and be done.
Yep, it's that much less you got to worry about later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to cover that up, stick her in the fridge, and we'll see you in 3 days.
Yeah. Okay, we're back with some dough. It turns out you need a bigger container.
We learned the hard way.
Yeah.
So either I was wrong about how Mimi used to put the dough in, or she used to, or ours just grew like crazy.
Yeah. And it grew out of the container and into the fridge.
Yes. It wanted to take over the fridge, our dough did.
Yeah. So we put it in this container and in the ice cream thing.
Yeah, we still have the gallon container downstairs,
Yeah.
but we ended up taking some out. So this is some of the extra, and we're going to show you how to finish off our rolls today. It has been 3 days. Again, you can do it a day later, 2 days later, whatever, but we went ahead and went for the full 3 days since we're calling them 3-day rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to finally knead our dough. Since we didn't do it before, we just stirred it, it's time to knead it. So we need to put some flour down on our surface. You do actually want a decent amount of flour at this point, so we don't need to be so particular about it. This is a different kind of recipe where adding flour at this point actually does help. So now go ahead and get your dough out and put it on the floured surface.
How does it smell to it?
A yeasty smell, probably.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I can't say what it smells like, but I smell it.
All right, now we're gonna go ahead and knead it until we have a nice elastic dough, because you're developing the glutens and adding more flour, so both will help.
Yeah, I can't really do it.
You want some help? Or-
Yeah. This is kind of how you do it?
Yeah, like kind of stretch it and fold it. Stretch it and fold it.
Okay.
But you don't have to you don't want to really push it into the table. So
Alright,
much, might as well get some of this flour.
I think I can do it now. Like that?
Yeah. It's still a little sticky though, isn't it? So now we want to go ahead and divide up our dough. You'll get, depending on the size, you can really make them any size you want. Between 36 and 48 rolls, like dinner roll size. Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, they're going to grow when they rise again, so you don't want to cut them the size you want them. You want to cut them about half the size of the roll that you want to end up with. So now to form our dough, again, you're going to want to put some flour on it. And you're just going to keep folding the edges over and pushing it down in the middle until you have a nice smooth ball on the outside. And this is the way the little old ladies at that church taught Mimi to do it. And then when you have a nice ball, you'll put it on a greased baking sheet with plenty of room for it to grow. Yeah, so what you do, again, you put it in a nice floured surface. You take the edge, you stretch it and push it down in the middle. Take the edge, stretch it and push it down in the middle.
Probably
Take the
isn't
edge.
the best idea to do this on the small one.
And just keep doing it. That way it stretches out the surface and gives you a nice smooth roll.
It's not so smooth. It's hard to get
And
it.
then just kind of help it have a nice shape.
This?
And then you put it, the side where you put all the pinching goes down and the smooth side goes up.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so just start folding over the edges, push it down in the middle. Fold over the edge, push it down in the middle. And just keep doing that till you have a nice round top that's smooth.
Oops.
Okay, then we're putting these on a greased baking sheet here. We're gonna cover that with a like a dish towel and let them rise until they're doubled in size. It'll take about an hour, more or less, depending on how warm your house is. If you have them in the kitchen while you're making other stuff, they'll rise faster. If your house is cooler, it might take a little bit longer than an hour, but you want them to be nice and poofy and doubled in size. All right, well, we'll finish doing these. We are going to let them rise, like I said, until they're double in size. Then we'll bake them in a 375-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on how big you make them. So you want them to be nice and like a light golden on top. So we will get that done and we will come back and show you what they look like when they're done.
Okay, we're back and we have the rolls.
Yep, they're baked. As you can see, they're a really nice light color. They smell nice and bready. He's going to eat the whole thing and not give me one.
They are pretty good. They look good. They smell good.
It's ever so slightly sweet and nice and soft and really tasty.
Really, really good.
And I think the nice long proof in the refrigerator gives it a good depth of flavor. Very nice. And it's going to be very good with our turkey.
Yeah.
They'll make good turkey sandwiches.
I won't pass these at Thanksgiving.
All right. So if you're looking for a really soft, yummy, buttery dinner roll, I think we found the recipe for you. Just learn from us and make sure you put it in a really big container in the refrigerator so you don't make a mess. Or two, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.